Hey guys, it's your girl Pebbles. Today we're going to do another get ready with me as I get ready to go out. So today I'm kind of feeling real bold today. So I'm going to do like this neon kind of deal. It's going to be really over the top. So it's probably not like an everyday kind of look, but for me it's an everyday kind of look. So first off, the first step I always do is I always prime my face. So today we're going to use a new primer that I just got from Ulta, which is this Laura Geller Sparkle Face Primer. This is my first time using the primer, so I don't really know how it's going to react today. So we're just going to go dive right into it. So I always put like a little bit on my hand and then just dab and go in. It got like a really nice texture, like a kind of like an extreme lotion kind of feel. It's not like the mattifying primers I normally use. It doesn't really have that kind of feel to it, but it's really smooth so far. So we're going to see if it actually helps keep my makeup in place all day, and then I'll let you guys know in this month's have and have not products if this is worth getting your hands on. So I always get like a little extra stuff. So if you ever just get extra, I just rub it into my hands, whatever. Keep it moving. So first step for me is I always do my brows first because I feel like it takes the longest. So I'm going to do my brows and then I'm going to be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now my brows are done. I use the NYX Espresso Eyebrow Gel. And then I also use the combination of that plus the Wet&Wild Pencil. Then I use the Maybelline Concealer, the Fit Me Concealer, to kind of carve out my brows. So now the next step is to go in with my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. And I'm just going to put that all over the lid. This pretty much kind of gets that base for your shadows to stick to. And I always like to use either this one or the NYX glitter gel because I swear those two are like incredible. It makes any eyeshadow, even cheap eyeshadows, just pop on your lid. So we're just going to pat that in. And we're going to get started on the eyes. So I keep all my shadows in this cute little homemade Z palette that I made. I'm going to open it up for y'all so y'all can see. It pretty much has all my little cute little shadows from Morphe, Coastal Scents. I got some from some brand I can't think of. To start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with Seduction, which is this really nice kind of chocolate color. And I'm going to use that pretty much for my crease. So I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. crease brush. Like, you don't even have to use the most expensive stuff when it comes to doing your makeup. Like, if you have the money to go splurge on that kind of stuff, cool. If not, go to Target, Walmart, get e.l.f. e.l.f. is probably like, for a drugstore, is top of the line. Like, they make really good brushes. Especially they have the ones that cost, they range from about $1 to $6. And for a brush that you can wash and that doesn't really shed, that's incredible. So we're going to take Seduction by Morphe. And we're just going to go in, just lightly tap it. You don't want to get too much pigment because we're going to do some neon colors. This is going to just help me be able to blend out my colors. So you just go in towards the crease area and just blend that out. And when I tell you, I'm not one to just be super precise. Like, I kind of just go with the flow. And whatever happens, happens. And worst case scenario, you can fix it with some concealer or a different shadow or something. So don't even worry about it. So just blend that out. Then other side. And if you mess up, don't worry about it because it's not that big of a deal. You just can clean it up later. And since I'm going for like a neon type of style, what I'm going to do is actually I always put the primer on first, but whenever you use like neon colors like yellows, pinks, purples and stuff, like it's always great to have like a white or black base. I like to use white. And I use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, which is pretty much a white stick. And you just put it all over. Don't mess up the crease that you just did, but put it pretty much all over the lid area, and it'll help make all these bright colors that we're about to use pop. So you just go over your lid with the white. And the white is actually like really good to kind of help. Like if you messed up on that crease area, you can just use the white to kind of just go over it. And we're just going to draw a path to where I'm going to put those neon colors. And if you put too much white over the crease area, you can always go back. Then do the other side. And y'all, before I started using like eyeshadow primers, this, like if you can't afford the Urban Decay or even the NYX, this right here, they're pretty much always on sale at Ulta for like buy one get one 50% off or something. And you can get this, and this works just as good as any primer. But I kind of like to make sure that I have the best base for my eyeshadows, because I don't want them to budge. I don't want to have to worry about whether my eyeshadow is going to be gone at the end of the day. So now that the eyes are pretty much primed with both the Urban Decay and the NYX Milk pencil, we're going to go in first. We're going to go in with this neon color called Bright Yellow from Coastal Scents. When I tell you, when I purchased these, I purchased about 11 or 12 of them. And they were all 99 cents when I bought them. And for a shadow, especially an individual shadow like this, 99 cents is crazy. So when I got it in the mail, I was like, oh my God, I hope it's worth it, because you know when you spend 99 cents, you think that the quality is not going to be good. But these Coastal Scents shadows are amazing. And regular price, they're only $2. So if you're just a beginner or you want to kind of expand your makeup collection, like $2 for a shadow, you can't beat that. So I would head over to Coastal Scents and try to check out their website. They have a lot of good affordable products. And I'll keep that link down below. So if you're like me and you forget to clean your makeup brushes, what you can do is, so I got this cute little jar from Michaels, and it's pretty much just like a regular jar, and I put some beads at the bottom to kind of help this stick in there. But it's really just this thing called the Soap Saver, and I cut it to fit into the jar, and I use it to change the color shadow. So like you can use just one brush throughout your whole makeup procedure, and all you gotta do is just swirl the brush in there, and it'll get all that excess color off of there without having to get a new brush. And they have there's a company, I think it's Veramona or something like that. They sell one for like 20 to like 30 bucks. And it cost $3 to make that. And I'm not knocking them, but $20 just so you don't have to wash your brushes, I feel like that's a bit high. I do love the concept. I've never used the brand myself, but like if you can do it for cheaper, why not? So we're going to take that bright yellow color from Coastal Scents, and we're going to just put that in the inner corners right here. You don't want to go out too far, just a bit. Just dab it in there. Okay, so you just get a little bit in that inner corner. And it's really just like a subtle kind of brightness. And you can just build that intensity. So this look is actually inspired by episode 4 of Rupaul's Drag Race, because anybody who knows me knows that I freaking live and die for drag queens. So this is pretty much inspired by my girl Chi Chi. I hope one day she sees this video, because she's pretty much one of my favorite drag stars this season. Like, I freaking love her. Like, she's from down south, and she's like super, like, I don't want to say ghetto, but she knows how it feels to come from the bottom and try to work her way up, and it ain't nothing like somebody that started from the bottom. Shout out to Drake. Hey boo. So see, now that we have that yellow kind of inner corner, we're gonna go back in with this color called Vibrant Pink by Coastal Scents, and we're pretty much gonna put that on the majority of the lid. So you can use, I use the e.l.f. C shadow brush. This is another one of those $3 brushes I was telling y'all about. And you just put it in on the lid. And you see how freaking pigmented this pink is? Like, it's freaking incredible. You just keep putting that on the lid. And I know what y'all thinking. Pebbles, how am I supposed to wear this outside? When I tell you with makeup, it's all about confidence. If you got confidence in yourself, you can pull off a paper bag outside. It's all about how you wear it. Like, you're literally your biggest critic. So, don't let nobody tell you that you can't wear a certain kind of makeup look outside, that that's just for magazines. Girl, do what you want to do. Because that's what I do. So, you just build this pink up until whatever intensity you like. And we're going to go back in later over that crease color because I'm just like all over the place. Okay, so now that we got that pink in, we're going to go in with like a deep kind of purple. So this is called Deep Grape by Coastal Scents. And we're going to kind of put that on the outer corner. You can kind of just like bring that in a little bit to kind of deepen that crease. Any kind of mess ups that we have over here, we're going to clean that up later with our foundation. That's why I always do my eyeshadow first, because if you get any fallout, you can just sweep that away right before you do your foundation. Because other than that, like, you'll literally have purple and stuff all over your foundation and you already did your concealer. So it's just backwards to do it that way. So pretty much this is what the eye looks like so far. So now I'm going to go in with the NYX Vibrant liners. This is in the color Vivid Fire. It's kind of like a neon red, neon pink kind of color. And I'm going to go in and do my liner, and I'm going to do my lashes off camera. Then we're going to come back and do the rest of this face. So now that we got our lashes on and our eyeliner, we're going to go ahead and start with the rest of the face. So since we already primed our face, we can just get right into it. So today I'm using the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced. I'm in the color Chestnut, which they just launched maybe a few months ago, like a whole new array of colors. They're still kind of off on their like colors for women of color, but hey, they're trying, you know. Took them long enough. So I've been loving doing my makeup using my beauty blender instead of using a makeup brush. Like, what have I been doing my entire life? So I just put a few streaks on my face. And as you can see, the foundation's a little yellow. But after I do all my contouring and highlighting, it'll kind of work itself out. So you just take a dampened beauty blender. This is the new nude one. And you just beat it into your face. And like, y'all see how even it is when you use the beauty blender? And you gotta make sure that it's a damp beauty blender. And then always make sure you bring it down to your neck, because you don't want to look like a weird Oompa Loompa with streaks and stuff. So I'm gonna go in because it is like a medium coverage foundation, so I'm gonna go in and try to fix my dark spots right up in here. So I'm just gonna dab a little concealer on there, on any of the imperfections I kind of see poking out. And you can conceal before or after you put your foundation on. It's really preference. I forgot to do it before, so I'm just gonna fix it now. Okay, so now that we got our foundation on, I'm gonna kind of let that sit a little bit and marinate. So now that our foundation is kind of settling into our skin, we can work on our concealer. So I've been loving the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer. I use the color Golden, and it's like so creamy and like smooth. I just love it to highlight with. So what I use is kind of unsanitary, but I clean it every time I use it. I just dot my concealer. So I got underneath the eye, on the bridge of the nose, on the forehead, on the chin, on that upper lip area. And then to contour with, I've been using the black Opal foundation stick in the color Black Walnut. And I just pretty much use like the edge of it to just get a smooth line. And I don't really do the forehead contouring because I just feel like I already have a really small forehead and I don't want it to look even smaller. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this concealer brush, just a random concealer brush, and just blend those dots out. And concealer is a good way to, like, if you messed up on your eyeliner or your eyeshadow, to just fix it. Or you can use, some people use tape before they do their shadow. They put tape on and you rip the tape off. It's really just preference. But I literally love how thick this concealer is. Okay, to blend it all out, because you freaking look like a clown at this point, I get the beauty blender that I use for my foundation. And also, I have this like special, it's the dupe for the Smashbox Primer Water. And I use that to kind of wet my beauty blender. And then you just blend it out. The word of the day is blend. And you pretty much want to blend it out until you don't have any kind of streaks. Until it's pretty much like cohesive between the concealer and your face. And then what I like is, like, say for the lip area, sometimes you may get a little heavy on the concealer. You can use that bottom portion that you use to beat your foundation in, and it'll kind of blend it a little bit better. It'll kind of merge it into your foundation a little bit more if it's too bright or too light for your skin tone. So I do that technique on the chin too. And then, like, as you go along, you can kind of see you're starting to look like a human being again. So just beat that mug, girl. And for those of you who are new to my channel, hello. You guys can go ahead and click that link down below and subscribe while I beat my face. You have plenty of time. And so now that we blend out the concealer, we can go ahead and blend out the contour. And I start with a cream contour, but I'm going to go back in with a powder. And so now is the fun part. So I go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder. And I will admit that when I first started, I hated this powder. Like, I thought it was just like too bright. But like after a while, I've fallen back in love with it. So you pretty much go over all the places that you previously highlighted. And I get pretty generous under the eye, but then on the chin and the nose and stuff, I just pat a little bit. Then we're going to go over the, not the concealer, we're going to go over that contour and kind of sharpen it back up because you pretty much lose it after you blend it out a little bit. I'm going to use my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. As you guys can see, this palette has been through it with me. This is like my holy grail. And I've been loving this NARS brush to kind of get my powder contour going. And I just dab it in that darkest color right here. And this dark one right there. And just go back over that contour. And I just like a little light contour, nothing too like crazy. And we can go in, and I've been loving this Wet and Wild powder brush, and I use that to just sweep off that excess powder. I don't like to bake for too long because I don't like that intense raccoon look under the eye. So you just dust off that excess powder. And I'm starting to look kind of like myself right now. Okay, so then we're going to go in and do our blush and get our highlight going. For blush, I've been kind of loving this Wet and Wild blush because I just like to just sweep a little bit of it. So that powder brush we just used, I love to use brushes for multiple things. So then just dip it in there because I don't like to use too much blush because as a black woman, it looks a little unnatural when you have a lot of blush going on. So just dab it on the apples of the cheeks. And kind of blend it into that contour. Nothing too much, just like a little bit. Then for my favorite part is highlighting. So I always start off with the Becca Liquid Illuminator in Opal. And as you can see, guys, I freaking love this stuff. I use it as a base for all of my highlights. So I just go over the highest points of my cheekbone. Then I go down the bridge of my nose. And then I go back over and I go right under that arch of my brow. And you can use your finger to blend out the arch part. And just dab that in there. It'll kind of set off that eyebrow. At least I think so. And then you just go in and blend this out with your finger. You can use your beauty blender or your finger. It doesn't really matter. You're already starting to kind of glow a little bit. And really, if you like, you can just stop at this point. But for me, I want it to be very intense. So we're pretty much glowing like a Greek goddess right now. But ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of glow. Okay, so now that we've blended in our highlight, I'm going to go back in using this amazing brush that I just got off of eBay. Granted, it took like a month and a half for it to come in, but this is like the softest brush that I own, and I'm just like so excited to try it. So you guys are gonna see like my first impressions on using this brush because this is my first time using it. So I'm gonna go in with my pretty much Holy Grail drugstore highlight by Makeup Revolution. This is in the color Golden Lights, and it's just like incredibly pigmented. Like, I love it. For $6, you can't beat it. So I just go right, I'm just going to just dab it a little bit into that fan brush, and it's just going to go over it. Ooh, my lord. Ooh. First off, the brush is so incredibly soft. But look at that. Like, oh my god. Am I blinding you guys? Can you see right now? Like, like, oh my god. I just want to bathe in this right now. Like, you cannot tell me that that isn't some amazing highlight. Then I'm just going to go back over that eyebrow that we did. And I'm just going to dab a little bit over there. Because when in doubt, put more highlighter on. Like, oh my god. I'm just dying right now. Like, guys. Like, oh. Whew. So now on to like one of my favorite parts, the lips. So my boyfriend actually picked this one out. Like, surprisingly, it was, this one is Ayesha from Kat Von D's liquid lipstick line. And then I wanted Echo, which is like the dark navy blue, and he's like, no, I like this one. And I said, how can I turn this down? It has a black girl's name. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. So since we're going on a date tonight, I'm gonna use the color that he picked out. So I'm gonna go and line my lips with Chestnut by Wet&Wild. Like, Wet&Wild is like a really underrated drugstore brand. Like, they have some incredible products, and some of them I'm gonna be mentioning in my next installment of my monthly have and have nots. And this one might be on the list. I like it because it's kind of like a natural kind of color. It's really close to my skin tone. So for when you're just wearing like off the wall colors, this is a good way to kind of give it that contrast. I don't want to do too much of the lining because this is like a purple color, so I don't want it to clash. Just enough to kind of give it a more natural feel. Okay. This isn't as light as I thought it was going to be, so I'm really happy about that. This is kind of a wearable color because some of her color ranges are a little too light for us women of color. You'd have to use like an extreme lip liner or do like an ombre kind of lip, but this color is actually not as scary as I thought it was going to be. I actually love this. It's very subtle and like really pretty spring. Since spring's coming up, like as I'm recording this video, like my birthday is pretty much a week away. And who doesn't love spring? I love the bright colors and the flowers. I hate the rain and the pollen. But overall, spring is one of my favorite seasons. And this is like a really good transition into the springtime, I think. Like, it's not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. Like, this is something that if you have a really bold personality, you can really pull off this look. Because I'm pretty much gagging over this look right now. I love it. So last step is to get your setting spray. This is like my miniature Urban Decay setting spray. I have a big one. I just haven't opened it yet. You just spray this, and this pretty much helps get rid of that powdery kind of feel. Hey guys, for some reason my final clip, the lighting was messed up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry y'all couldn't see the last 30 seconds of this Get Ready With Me. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in my next video.